All right, boys, let's get into the good stuff. Scaling. So this is assuming after you do what I showed you in video 1 and 2. So this is a point where you have a video and a shout out that worked and you made money, which is good and all, but it's about the steps you take forward, which is going to take you to $100,000 plus in revenue. In my case, $1 million plus in revenue. This is exactly the framework that I follow, that I have followed for all the scales that I've done so far with influencer marketing. So let's hop right into it. My definition of scaling, yes, I have this actually in the dictionary for influencer scaling definition. It's when a brand runs multiple shoutouts with an influencer until the influencer is no longer profitable, at least in my opinion. All right, that's actually in the dictionary. You guys can go check it. There's a lot of, if you watch a lot of influencer videos on YouTube, you'll obviously see a lot of people being like, don't saturate the influencer's audience, blah, 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 blah. It's fucking bullshit, dude. The goal is to saturate the influencer's audience. Like, don't get it twisted, bro. The goal is to saturate the influencer's audience because that means you make money, right? That means you capture all the customers that are inside of that influencer's audience, right? So that's like the biggest mindset shift that you need to have to be successful with this is like, in order to scale, you need to basically run multiple videos until it's just not profitable, which I'll actually go in depth on how you can actually do it more long term to keep it as profitable as possible for as long as possible later into the video. So that's like the first two. Number three is exclusivity, because when you're scaling, all the products that I've scaled, I've always had people and other copycats trying to outbid me. It's a pain in the ass, but you just have to, keep your ass covered, and you need to get exclusivity down for, in the contract for at least a multiple amounts of videos, which I'll go in depth on, like how many videos you should be doing and what you should actually be committing to, so you don't overcommit yourself and you don't undercommit yourself. Exclusivity is pretty much where you're the exclusive type of brand or service or product that influencer is allowed to promote. No matter, if any brand offers them whatever amount, like they're just solely exclusive to you, which is actually very good for the influencer too, because let's just say they promote one water bottle brand and then, 4 videos in, if they promote like 4 times and then they go promote another water bottle brand, it comes off not genuine from the community, because they're like, well, you're obviously not genuinely recommending stuff to us, you're just a sellout. And there's a difference. So it's actually very good for them to be an exclusive deal because it prevents them from making that mistake, which I've seen influencers do, and their audiences don't really like it that much. So you want to the timing to get exclusivity is like, if the first video works, do another one, and then if that one works, get it under exclusivity. But if the first video just pops off really well, just do it, because you do not want people trying to outbid you and stuff, and make sure it's locked in inside of a contract. I'll actually include the PDF below. For everyone who gets the cheat sheet, will also get the layout of the exclusivity. However, I do recommend you to sit down or get a lawyer just to read over it, obviously, because I don't want people coming back to me being like, oh, well, this is that. It's just the one that I've used. I'm just doing that to actually help you guys. It's pretty simple, though. I mean, you just need to tell influencer, like, look, let's do an exclusive deal, be for this amount of videos. So that's what I'm about to get into now. But before getting into the amount of videos it takes, you have to realize the influencer profitability time frame. It's really based off like the ad spend and the views you're making. If you were paying, let's just say for one scale that it was a really successful scale with Fortnite compilation pages, and I paid $300. It was with a client store. We were paying $300 for a video, and this is back in the good old days in 2018, prime Fortnite, prime drop shipping, and yeah, we're paying $300 per video. We were making like 1 million views a video. And I mean, we ran that from like August to like August 2018 to like January 2019. I mean, like we pay that influencer like 40 to 45 grand. Like we were doing a lot of videos. We pretty much like I mean, we kind of tapped out the audience, to be honest. Like that just stopped working after that long, but it was pretty impressive seeing how long it lasted. Because if you're paying $300 for a million views, even though it's a lot of kids watching, but they're getting their parents to buy, the product and all that. And yeah, let me guys know if you want to see a case study based off that specific scale. But yeah, I mean, if you could obviously run for months if the ad spend is low enough compared to the views. But the way that things are now, especially with personal brands, it's kind of hard to get deals like that. Um, and like I like people being a part of the influencers being part of the money and getting paid, what they're actually valued, and what their value actually is bringing to the brand. Like my goal is to make, a dollar in profit per dollar I pay them. So I'm basically making what they're making. So it's, I'm not like trying to swindle people into paying them $10 and I'm making, $10,000. That's just me. I know some of you guys are really shrewd negotiators, which I don't blame you, but that's just my mindset. But yeah, I mean, most influencers can last between like 5 to 10 promotions, with like a 1K plus ad spend, but like each situation's different. Like one campaign, the highest spend campaign that I was managing for a brand I was working with was, 10K per video. First video did like 30,000 in revenue with like 200,000 views. It was around there, and then we signed for a 5 video deal, which I think was like that one plus four more. If I could have went back in time, I would have only done three just based off the profitability. I mean, because 10K, it was worth it for like 3 videos, but like 5 videos, it was still profitable, but it wasn't like super duper profitable though. So if I could have went back, I just would have, when you're dealing with like 10K plus ad spend, for direct profit, probably do like three is like a good number just because if they don't have like, he only had a few 100,000 subscribers and making like 100, 200K views per video, a little bit less sometimes. And so, when you're paying 10K, like you need enough views to like support that ad spend to actually like bring it over a break even to being a profit. So, but like, with one influencer that I've done a case study on where I think I paid her a total of like 20,000 and I did like about 90,000 in revenue off her. I was paying her 1,000 in the beginning for the first shout out, and then I started paying her about like close to 2,000 because I was doing the initial promotion. Plus, I got outbidded actually, so I actually had to start paying more, uh, because I didn't have her in an exclusivity deal, and I got screwed by that. But so I started paying about close to 2K with remarketing, which I'll go over how to do remarketing. But pretty much like her just posting 2 more snaps after the initial promotion was done, which then kept traffic coming in. I paid her 25% of the full story rate. So the full story rate was like 1,500. I was paying her about 300 for the remarketing, which kept it profitable. But yeah, and she lasted from like October 1st to like December 31st. So was that like about 3 months almost, doing about like 2 promotions a week, which, give or take, because I did more in the beginning, kind of stopped for like a week or two and then went back into it. So yeah, it lasted for about like 10 promotions total though. So that's like the whole story of like, the most influencers can last between like 5 to 10 promotions, with like a 1K ad spend plus. But it just depends on the views and what you're making and the conversion rate. And if your product is something that like has a recurring buying rate where like once the product runs out, people need to buy more. If it's a subscription, that can change because if you get a pool of 1,000 customers that you acquire from an influencer audience and then 30% of people rebuy from you, that's 300 extra purchases. So it's more dependent on the business for how you calculate the math of like how long it will last, but that's just like from what I've seen so far. And then yeah, like on YouTube, I keep the promotions like mainly the same, like for the actual promotion style, because a lot of people be like, well, don't you have to like switch it up and like switch up the angles and stuff like that? I mean, I've tried that, and my experience is like what keeps it fresh is like more so like more and new offers definitely keep it fresh, but like changing the angle, like if one video they're just doing a sit down and then the next video they're like doing a different type of like angle, it just doesn't really change the amount of people that are going to buy. It's like if you give people 40% off versus 10% off, you're probably going to make the same amount of purchases, so you might as well just keep it the same, or like let's say for the discount, keep it at 10%, for example, and because you'd be losing 30% of revenue if you do that. Same thing with like, changing an angle. Like it's not really going to change anything. You're just like, it could actually like make it worse sometimes. So I try to keep all the promotion styles the same overall, with the offer, just having the influencer like recommend it. Because like the first time, if it works, there was a big pool of people that still didn't buy that were thinking about it, and then you do it again, and then they see it again. That's where you start, getting in, like you really start converting the audience more, and that's like why it only lasts like 5 or 10 times. Because like first time you get the immediate purchases, second time you get like a more load of purchases, and then it stays consistent, and then we'll start slowly dropping off after you kind of acquire the customers. Next is retargeting. So retargeting is extremely important for influencer marketing. Um, Obviously, you can make money if you just directly promote on the page, but it's basically like, you have imagine if you have a sink and then there's just a massive hole where the water comes out. Like you're just losing out on money. Like, you just literally, put 10 grand on the table and you're just not picking it up, per example. So definitely do Google shopping and search campaigns. I recommend Sebastian Georgiou's a Google ad agency. He's good. Uh, I've heard some good things about him. For like, if you guys, once you get a winner to work, I've heard he's good. The second thing is on the actual influencer page. If their YouTube works, you should definitely run their Instagram stories, run their Instagram feed, their Snapchat stories if they do have a good Snapchat, and that's assuming if their YouTube's profitable. Because if the YouTube's profitable, you basically want to be omnipresent around the whole audience that they have, so you can really maximize the amount of purchases that you're able to make. Make sure on your personal Facebook ad account for the brand that the retargeting is turned on, because you just want to make sure that you're capturing all the customers that are coming to your site that aren't buying, and you're able to be omnipresent with them, and just have everyone who took a look at the offer being retargeted. Really maximize out the amount of money you're making from the audience. And then you should definitely test out lookalike and cold traffic on Facebook to see if it can pop off. It's not a guarantee it will, but it's still a good chance it could. Especially with lookalike, that's kind of the OG strategy. Especially with the lookalikes, that's kind of the OG strategy. Taking influencer data, scaling it on lookalikes, but it doesn't work as good as it used to. But you should definitely try it out though. And then obviously make sure your SMS and email campaigns are running to maximize out the traffic that you are getting. I know I spelled maximize wrong. This is something that I didn't do for a while that I regret not doing, and that is, it's like kind of a higher level thing, but pretty much you want to make a deal with the influencer where you can get access to their YouTube ad account, and then you could run retargeting to their audience and pay them like a higher percentage of the profit tracked from the account, like 30 to 50%. And then you're covering all the ads, and then you're just paying them based off the profit after all expenses. And the same goes for like their Facebook ad account. All the big brands do this, like American Eagle with Addison Rae with her brand deal with them. Obviously, she posts about them on her TikTok, but they also run TikTok retargeting to her audience on TikTok. And I'm not too familiar with if like smaller brands can do that with like getting access to people's accounts and running. I'm pretty sure they can, but I know with Facebook, I've done it with Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube so far though. And because like the biggest problem that I ran into is like this one influencer. I actually made a video about it where he generated like over, I think at the time it was like 167,000, but now it's like over 200,000 total revenue that he generated with only in like 4 or 5 videos. And the problem with him was that he never posted. Like this kid was so annoying with like not posting. Like, and like I get it, but it was just like it worked so good, and like he just didn't care, which I get, but like it really slowed down the growth that we could have had working with him. Would have brought a benefit to everybody who was involved. And honestly, if I just knew this one strategy of being able to get access to the YouTube account and just running the retargeting from his ad account and just paying him percentage of the profit, it literally would have like solved all those issues. Because like the biggest problem with influencers is that you're not dealing with an ad platform. You're dealing with people, and people that are influencers are obviously notorious for having egos, for not being the easiest people to work with sometimes. So this honestly fixes all the issues honestly. Like, you just have to get them to agree to it, which if you've already paid them like a few grand, you've already built rapport with them, you're cool with them, it's not really too hard. And once you guys get to this point, I'm able to help out the best I can with, like, showing you how to introduce the idea. The experience I have with this is that people are a little bit sketched out with like not wanting to give you access, but once you explain to them, be like, you just give me advertiser access. I don't have access to your YouTube. I don't have access to your Instagram or anything like that. I just have access to being able to run the ads. You have full access to see everything that I'm doing. And then you just provide them a P&L. You can obviously show them if you have a profit tracking app, what the profit is from it. And yeah, and then but it's a very good idea. I wish I knew about it earlier. It would have saved me a lot of headaches, just so many headaches, bro. The main thing you need to know is you need to run multiple times until it's not profitable anymore. Because that means that you did your job, right? You were successful in the campaign. If you run it so much that it becomes not profitable, then you did a good job. And obviously, that's like not including like you being able to run the retargeting, because that could be profitable, right? It just might be the upfront rate that's not profitable. Running the retargeting, though, that could be profitable for very long term. So it's a very good thing to keep in mind when you get to this point. Make sure you get exclusivity. Do not get exclusivity. You need exclusivity. People are going to try to outbid you. People are going to try to copy you. You need to make sure that you have that on lock and that you get the entire niche of all those group of influencers promoting it, because that will create an effect where people really believe in it, and which in turn creates you making a lot of money, the influencers making a lot of money, the people who are buying getting a lot of value and enjoying the product or service that you're selling. So it's a win-win-win all around if you do that. So do not lack on the exclusivity part. It's like one of the most important pieces to get down. Like I said, like influencers profitability time frame is based more on the ad spend, the views you make. Like with the Fortnite compilation page example, paying $300 to make 1 million views basically within a day lasted for like I said, from like August 2018 to like December 2019. Not including the Facebook scaling. I mean, that store did over 750K in revenue, and the profit was very good. And but most times with a 1K plus ad spend, majority of the time it's going to last between 5 to 10 promotions. And then on YouTube, I keep the promotions mainly the same. But based on the video topic, I might change it. But overall, it's the same. Because angles, if you change angles, it's going to convert so much better from my experience. In theory, it does, but in reality, it doesn't really. For retargeting, you make sure you're running Google shopping and search campaigns on your personal ad accounts. Run your Instagram and Facebook retargeting. Also, if their YouTube is profitable, run on their Instagram feed, their stories, their Snapchat stories, their Snapchat's good. Just get it all around. And then make sure you test out your lookalikes and the cold traffic on Facebook to see if they can pop off. Not a guarantee, but it could work. Make sure your SMS and email marketing is optimized for abandoned carts and also purchases for reselling to people that you've captured from the influencer's audience, people who bought from you. Which is a way to, like, if you get a pool of 1,000 people and then let's say 30% of people rebuy from you, so you can really explode the amount of money you make without needing to run any more shout outs. And then the biggest thing is you want to try to make this after you do a couple videos. You want to try to make a deal with them you can get access to their ad accounts either on YouTube, Instagram, or it'll be Facebook for running Instagram retargeting, and then pay them a higher percent profit, so like 30 to 50% of the profit from the account to make it worth it for them, and that will save the problem of shout out working and then them not wanting to make another video for it because they're just people, right? They're annoying and they have their own feelings and their own opinions. So that's my experience from actually scaling at a higher level. People think it's all, rainbows and shit, and it's really not. I mean, there's problems that come at every single level. And so this number 9 is like something that if you do, it literally solved that problem for me. And I wish I knew about it earlier because I would have helped the brands that I worked with make more money, but it's all good because I'm doing it now. So make sure you get the ebook in the description. It'll help a lot. With the briefs, the scripts, the exclusivity contract template. And yeah, so I was just going to say, if you guys are currently running a brand and if you already have a winning product on like TikTok or Facebook And if you're interested in taking it to YouTube influencers and just influencers in general, and if you're interested in looking for me to help you through that process, more as like a paid mentorship slash course for it, shoot me a DM. I'm going to start filming the course soon. It's going to be more higher level, just going way more in depth on the things that I've already talked about in this video. More for people who already have winning products, but if you don't, I'm still happy to talk and try to help out the best I can. And so, yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed this series. I'm definitely going to be posting more often to keep you guys in the loop on everything. And yeah, if you guys have any questions, feel free to shoot me a DM on Instagram. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.